Be blessed. I am Father Jeffrey Waldrop, and it is an honor to be a voice of He who is the voice. Selfish or selfless? I think today we're called to look at the things that we do when we're at home, when we're at work. Are we selfish or selfless? When you're at the grocery store, or you're doing things with your friends, or if you're out just doing everyday chores, are you doing it selfishly or selflessly? And I say that because in this old world, it drives us to be self-absorbed sometimes, unfortunately. And it's easy to kind of stumble, if you want to say, and become more selfish in the things that we say or the things that we do or the choices that we make, I was with a group of people just the other day, and they got to talking about new cars. And they asked me how old my car was. And I said, well, I got my car back in 2012. Oh, you need a new car. So they were talking about new cars. All of a sudden, they pulled out their phones and they picked out these cars that they think I would like and how much it was. And, and I was like, well, I can't afford that. They said, oh, you'll find the money, but wouldn't this be? And they were luring me into that selfish attitude. And I thought, no. Now I did look at the pictures, there were some nice cars, but I thought, no. God wants me to be happy just where I am and what I'm about. Are we motivated by selfishness or selflessness? I think of Luke's Gospel, chapter 10, verse 25 through 37, of the story of the Good Samaritan. The Good Samaritan went and stopped and helped the injured Palestinian who was half dead. They were considered enemies of one another, if you want to say. He picked him up, went out of his way, spent his money and his time and his energy just to help him out. That was not being selfish. It was being selfless. I think today that we're called to look at how we are called to be selfless people. Because I can tell you, I know a lot of parents out there that are selfless in what they do for their children. I know that there's a lot of single people and widows and widowers are out there that are doing for others selflessly. Hospital staff that are out there to help others selflessly. People who, when they realize that they're wrong, they are willing to apologize, being selfless. Good-hearted people that are just out there, they just want to do something for you, they just appreciate you and what you're doing. That is another example of being a selfless person. Like the Good Samaritan, I think that we're called to remember how empowering it is when we are selfless, when we're generous and kind and loving in the name of the Lord. And it's going to take some risk. It's going to cost us. It's going to take us getting out of our comfort zone at times. But I think today we're called to reflect on how important it is to keep ourselves in check, to make sure that we are not being selfish, but being selfless in the things that we say and that we do. I am Father Jeffrey Waldrop, and it is an honor to be a voice of He who is the voice.